Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks so much for tuning in to New Texas Realty. I'm Kareen, and today I will be explaining exactly why I'm extremely optimistic for the Dallas-Fort Worth real estate market for 2026 and why you should be too. But first, let me take a quick second to share something, because if you've been subscribed to this channel for a while, you probably noticed I disappeared almost a year ago. For the last year, I really didn't post anything. And something else, let me be quite frank, it wasn't accidental. It was on purpose. This past year of 2025 was the most profitable year in my real estate career ever. And I literally had to take this time to focus on my business. And while I was doing that, I also gained some valuable data. I was able to get some more data on buyers and sellers. I got more data on homes being sold. And finally, I even got more data on the economy, specifically here in Dallas-Fort Worth. And let me tell you something. This is why I think 2026 is going to be a great year for real estate. You see, over the past year, just about every conversation I've had around real estate started in a similar way. Did I miss the boom? When should I get in? Hey, is it about to crash? When is it going to crash so I can time it perfectly? It's just been crazy. And I tell people all the time in the market beats timing the market every single time. You see, in the past, prices moved fast, but then rates jumped. Headlines were all over the place. Buyers felt stressful. Selling felt like a gamble. And a lot of really smart people just froze. Why? Because they didn't want to make the wrong move. But here's the thing, and this is why I look forward to 2026, because that panic is fading. That noise is gone, and something better has taken its place. And to me, I think that something is clarity. So today I want to tell you a story. And this story isn't about fear. It's not about worst case scenarios. It's about why the DFW housing market is one of the best environments that we've had in a long time, specifically for thoughtful buyers and strategic sellers. So I'm going to tell you right now, this is not hype. It's just my perspective. So first, let's talk about when the market was loud and why that matters. If you were around in Dallas real estate in 2020, 2021, or even parts of 2022, you remember how loud everything felt. Homes were selling in days. People were fighting at open houses. Lines down the street around the block. You literally listed a house. It was sold within hours. And buyers, they felt they had to rush. And sellers, they felt they were like Thanos. But loud markets aren't always healthy markets. People didn't even have time to think. Offers were emotional. Decisions literally were like reactive. And a lot of folks walked away feeling either burned out or priced out. Then rates started moving up and they moved up quick. And then immediately that music slowed. And then came a literal stop. For a second there, the whole housing market froze. And suddenly everybody was holding their breath. Now, fast forward to 2026. That noise, like I said, is gone. And that's actually the best part of the story. But let me tell you what happens when stability replaces shock. One of the biggest characters in this story is interest rates. So for a while, rates didn't just rise. They shot up. And people literally froze. And high rates, not only did they freeze people, they froze the entire market. But what we're seeing now is different. Rates are no longer jumping around. They're settling. People have gotten used to these rates. And that changes everything. You see, because when buyers know roughly what their payments are going to look like, they stop guessing and they start planning. And when buyers start planning, they come back to the market. And when buyers come back to the market, sellers get their confidence back because now they have confidence. Okay, I can sell my house. And that kind of stability doesn't create chaos. It creates movement. And that's what you want. You want movement. Movement is the lifeblood of a healthy real estate market. And in 2026, we're looking at a market not driven by shock. We're looking at a market driven by intention. So inventory returns, but so does the breathing room with it. Here's another part of the story that gets misunderstood all the time. More homes on a market does not mean a bad market. It means a more human one. So instead of buyers feeling like they had to say yes, or if they didn't agree to every term that the seller wanted, they would have got bust upside the head. They don't have to deal with that anymore. Now they can compare, they can shop, they can ask questions, they can negotiate, and they can choose. And in addition to that, sellers, they were feeling before that they could just throw any trash out there and they'd get 30 offers on it. Pricing and presentation all out the wazoo. It didn't matter. But now it does. And that's a good thing. And not just for pricing, but also the quality of these homes that they're selling. This is crucial because some of the worst quality homes were built or renovated during those crazy years during and right after COVID. So I'm glad we're out of that. But balanced markets reward preparation, not panic. In Dallas, this shift doesn't kill demand, it refines it. So the right homes are still going to sell. That's one thing. It don't matter. Good market, bad market. If your home looks good and priced right, it will sell. The right buyers are still going to buy. It don't matter rates 30% or 2%. If you need to buy a house and you have the means to do so and you like the house, you're going to buy it. But now the process feels reasonable again. No one side feel like they're getting bust over upside the head. And that's exactly what opens the door to better long-term outcomes for everyone involved. So one thing many people don't understand about Dallas is Dallas isn't just one market. It's many markets all in close proximity. And one of the reasons I'm optimistic about Dallas is because the city doesn't just depend on one story. So with Dallas being a collection of different neighborhoods, different price points, lifestyles, and opportunities, some areas may attract first-time homebuyers. Other areas may attract families. And then you got other areas that attract investors. Some areas may attract relocators. And in calmer markets, that diversity becomes a strength. So instead of everything rising or falling together, different areas move at their own pace. So that creates opportunities for people who take their time to understand what they're buying or selling, rather than just reacting to a headline that probably wasn't even written for their area. So this is where knowledge really starts to outperform luck and shows the importance of making sure you have amazing representation. So even as we look out, the bigger picture is calmer as well. So when you zoom out for a moment, naturally, housing has entered a different conversation. The extremes are gone. People aren't shouting boom or bust anymore. And that's exactly where real estate thrives. Moderate growth, no crazy tax appraisals coming in every year, steady transactions, and then affordability slowly improving. That's the environment where homes become homes again, and not lottery tickets for sellers or ticking time bombs for buyers. And Dallas has historically done well in these periods because it blends the opportunities with practicality. And that combination matters as we go into 2026. Now, I would be totally wrong if I didn't touch on the jobs and the people that make this whole machine run. Because at the end of the day, real estate isn't just numbers, it's people. People moving here, people working here, people building families here, companies opening up offices here. So Dallas continues to attract talent, businesses, and growth across many industries. And that diversity is what keeps demand grounded, even when the trends shift. So we don't have to worry about those wild spikes because we have and we want stability. Stability is what protects homeowners, and it also attracts long-term buyers. And then lastly, we gotta talk about the new construction. New homes, new options, new energy, another positive chapter heading right into 2026. New homes bring new options. These options create competition, and then competition is going to improve the quality across the entire market because buyers are going to get flexibility, but sellers are also going to get clarity. And what that does, it benefits the entire ecosystem. When housing expands thoughtfully, it lifts the overall experience, not just the amount of transactions being done. So, the meaning of all this so far, when you step back and you look at this full story unfolding, you don't see a crash. You don't see chaos. You don't see confusion. What you do see is a market growing up. A market where smart decisions matter again, where patience is rewarded, and where confidence replaces fear. And that's what you want. If everybody's scared, no one's going to do anything. Buyers will not buy. Sellers will not sell. Relocators, they will not move here. Because in the end, everyone wants to know, hey, how do we move forward? Well, let me tell you. As we head into 2026, the Dallas housing market isn't asking people to rush. It's asking them to understand. The rates are stabilizing. Inventory is more balanced. We have strong fundamentals and we have diverse neighborhoods. And those are all pointing towards a season of opportunity built on clarity and not chaos. And here's the best part of the story. You don't need perfect timing to do well in this type of market. So many people keep trying to time the market. You cannot time the market. You will lose every time. Get in the market. Time in the market beats timing the market 100%. You don't even need to know what's going to happen. You just need good information and a clear plan. Because for buyers, this is going to be a chance to move thoughtfully. For sellers, this is going to be a chance to move confidently. And then for everyone, it's a straight return to the real estate that feels human again. And that's, quite steadily, is how strong markets are built. So that's my time. And as always, thank you guys for tuning in. I truly believe 2026 will be positive for DFW, bringing more people, more businesses, and more opportunity for everyone. So as always, if these videos provided any value to you, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. This is New Texas Realty. And always remember, you heard it here first. Until next time.